with slide 6, so we now have definite signs of pregnancy. For a lot of women, um, they know they're pregnant. Maybe other people don't know they're pregnant. They've gotten a positive test. They're having morning sickness. But a lot of times it doesn't really sink in and feel real until that first doctor's appointment where they get to hear the heartbeat. They get to see the fetus moving on the ultrasound. And these are just a variety of different ultrasounds. You typically, one of the very first is going to be the transvaginal ultrasound. Truly within that first trimester, the fetus is not large enough to put enough pressure on the uterus to be able to see it from an outside wand of an ultrasound. So they insert the wand into the vagina. It's got a light on it, and then it's got a camera, and it's just right next to that uterus, so it can go through the embryo, fetus, depending on where they are in the progression, will look a little bit like this. Early on, you're going to see a 2D model, just factoring in bone and organ, and you just really can see the whole fetus because they're taking up such little space. As you get further into the pregnancy, the wand will be on the outside, okay? And as pregnancy progresses, you're only going to see body parts because they're just taking up so much room. So like a foot might be over here and the head over here and the butt and the back here. It just kind of depends. Once again, these are 2D ultrasounds. When you get to 3D, it factors in flesh. When you get to 4D and 5D, you're factoring in fat, flesh, fat, bone, organ, all of it. The difference between 4D and 5D is just the quality. You're going to see a lot of features with 3D, 4D, and 5D. 5D is just going to be the clearest picture, and you're going to see the most definition. This is a 5D picture, so you can definitely see facial features of your, at this point, fetus, and you can maybe just see, oh, they look like their brother or they look like their dad. Just kind of depends. What really sinks in for a lot of pregnant women is when they get to feel their baby move for their first times. And this picture is truly real. You will see throughout the pregnancy where, depending on where baby is positioned in the womb, when they kick and they move, their body parts do work out. They only have so much room to stretch. Okay. This is just a good video that shows, and as soon as I hit play, I'll make it max the screen. But this video, there we go. This video just shows what those movements really truly are like. There's just background music. This is going to be into the 3rd trimester. This isn't the first movements felt by mom, but this just shows you how truly your stomach, it's not a solid wall. It flexes and moves with baby. A lot of times when mom sits down to rest, this is when baby is like, ooh, now it's my time to move. Some of these are a little creepy. It can be a little creepy when you see it yourself, um, but it also can be kind of funny. Not really painful. This one, the baby's moving mom. Little twitches at first, and then you're going to see almost like body parts you'll be able to recognize. That's most likely probably, knees, elbows, feet. Lots of twitches. And this woman's abdomen is so veiny, she just doesn't have as much fat. But you can definitely see, like, it almost looks like a chicken in there, where you can see the arms and the legs moving. It can be a tad creepy when you see it. Like, yep, arms, legs everywhere. And then that video just continues with um, that same lady at the end, as she's going. When you go to your first doctor's visit, it is going to be the longest visit, with the most information gathered. One of the very first things they're going to discuss is the diet. Eating a balanced diet, staying away from, there isn't a doctor out there that's not going to tell you balanced diet, lots of fruits, lots of vegetables, clean, lean proteins. But yeah, same thing. Really, because that's what your baby is going to be craving, and your body is as well. They need all those vitamins and minerals to grow in a healthy manner. Staying away from junk food and empty calories. Yeah, you might crave McDonald's or Dairy Queen or a chocolate cake. That's great. Just moderation. You just have to remember moderation. It's okay to have those things occasionally. Just don't base your whole diet on it. And then as you start to grow in the, as far as the taking up space in your abdomen, you're going to see, and I'll talk about this when we get into prenatal too, all the organs get shoved up under the rib cage. So being able to eat large meals really declines as you're progressing through this prenatal stage. Your stomach will actually get to about the thickness of a pancake when you're in your like 30s into 40 weeks. So training your body to eat 5 or 6 small meals a day just kind of helps you in the end. 8 ounce glasses of water is recommended for the average adult. That's 64 ounces of water a day. Some of you get that, some of you don't. But for a pregnant woman, they want that to up that to that 12 8-ounce glasses of water. That's 96 ounces. I don't know if I've ever seen a pregnant female that doesn't have like a jug of water with them. They're always thirsty. Their body is just cycling through all these vitamins, nutrients, and water throughout the day, and they just need it. Taking your prenatal vitamins, and it really doesn't necessarily matter. It's what your body likes, it tolerates, and it absorbs. You can get a prescription for prenatal vitamins, or you can buy them over the counter like this. The big thing here is your folic acid, which is you see in a lot of your greens, spinach, kale, those types of things. But it gives you extra iron and folic acid, which are great for brain and organ development. You aren't going to see folic acid in the levels that you need during pregnancy in just a basic multivitamin. That's why you want to take the prenatal vitamins. And then an omega-3 fatty acid supplement like your fish oils are going to be great also for brain and organ development. Some of your prenatal vitamins come with omega-3 and some do not. So you just need to add that supplement. How much weight should you gain or will you gain? Really, they've narrowed it down now to these kind of 4 ranges. Where did you start before pregnancy? Were you in a nice healthy weight? You're looking to gain 25 to 35 pounds. If you were underweight, a lot of teen parents run the risk of being underweight and you haven't put on that layer of fat. So you might have to gain upwards of 40 pounds, or your body will just naturally. Okay, and then overweight and then obese, the numbers drop. And this is just a nice chart right here to show you that it doesn't all go to baby. Nobody has a 25-pound baby, but it does kind of spread itself out through the body. Okay, really in those first 15 to 20 weeks, you don't gain a lot of weight because baby isn't large enough to be taking that much weight. When you really start to see mid-second trimester is where you start to see some weight coming on. And then in those last 8 weeks is where you really see the biggest. As baby in those last weeks is putting on about a pound a week, mom will put on 2 to 3 pounds a week in those last weeks. Talk about family history. Is there anything genetically that runs within your family that could make you an at-risk pregnancy or an at-risk delivery? Diabetes, heart disease, Down syndrome. There's a million things that you really could look for. When I was pregnant, I have a cousin that has cleft palate and cleft lip. And so that was one of the things that they looked for in my children as well. And that's just a little bit of precursor. Just gives them a little bit more to look for so you're not caught off guard. And then exercise. Anything your body is used to in moderation. Okay. I took these pictures. I was at the Des Moines Marathon cheering on some friends. And this woman ran by me at the 3-mile mark. And I said to one of my friends, I think she's pregnant. Nah, can't be pregnant. And at the 7-mile mark, she started to run towards me. And you can't read it very well, but it says future marathoner on board and 7 months pregnant. Now, I'm going to guess at 7 months pregnant, her doctor said, slow down your pace, stop for water breaks, and they had people staggered throughout the marathon to check on her, but moderation. Swimming is a great one, especially as you progress through the pregnancy because you become more buoyant in the water. So it's easier on your joints than something like this. Yoga is always a great option. It can be done in your house, low impact, easy to do. But if you are one of those people that would say you're allergic to exercise, you don't enjoy it, you don't like it, one of the things they're going to recommend is just go for a walk. Start at a half a mile, build up to a couple miles each day. Super simple. You don't need equipment for it. You don't have to pay for a gym membership. And it's really low impact. Things to avoid. Now, you don't need to write down the purple. You really just need to write the black. Really things to avoid. This is not the point in your life where you want to do anything to lose weight. Okay? This is the point where you gain healthy weight. Once again, if you're worried about gaining too much, cut out the empty calories, the fast foods that are full of preservatives, and kind of the junk food. Just focus on those healthy foods. Any contact sport, really, once again, any trauma to the pelvis could cause preterm labor and or miscarriage. So, if you're really into, ice hockey, it's going to have to wait until after pregnancy. Fall prone activities, again, horseback riding, if you're not used to riding bikes, skiing, things where you could fall and put trauma on the pelvis, really is not recommended. Overdoing it. At any point while exercising during pregnant, you should be able to sing happy birthday or hold a conversation. If you are out of breath, you need to slow down the pace or try a different form of exercise. Bouncing or jarring, things like your CrossFit, your kickboxing, any of your like Zumbas where you're dancing and bouncing, just not really recommended. Anything too hot, obviously like your hot yogas or working out in the middle of the day in July in Iowa, work out in the mornings or the evenings, or just really, once again, don't raise your body temperature because when you get hot, baby gets hot and their heart starts to beat a little too fast and it's not good for them. If you're traveling and you go to some place with a different altitude, just be aware it could affect your breathing ability and your exercise. And then laying on your back. As you get further in your pregnancy, you can buy like these wedge pillows to help support your belly. These kind of U-shaped pillows are really popular. But as you get bigger, and your uterus with all the amniotic fluid and the fetus and everything